are the network of overcomers and winners. Welcome to the Now Show. I am your regular host, Abosede Osho, and joining me today is my brother, my friend. Always a joy and a delight having you here so that we can talk. Adeleke, Aladekoba.
Good to be here again.
Oh yes, it is. And on today's episode, we are going to be discussing a topic we have titled Unbreakable. You know, because situations happen, things happen, life happens to people, some expected, some unexpected, that seem to shake them, put them in different places. So this episode is to help people rise from those situations so that they remain unbreakable.
Yes.
What was meant to break you shouldn't break you. Okay.
Well, you know, it's one of those topics it's almost like, what are you talking about? Something will break you in life. And the truth is, things break us in life.
That's right.
So when people hear unbreakable, don't think we're here trying to form, you know, I am made of stone and nothing. Even stones break.
Of course.
You know, but when you say unbreakable, it's the spirit.
That's right.
You know, it's the spirit, because we're just a few weeks ago we were on this set talking about, you know, the things happening in the nation.
That's
and we were
right.
excited, we looked at it, and then, but the events of 2010-20, it has become a memory we'll never forget.
That's right.
And for as many people as remember it, something in them will always break.
That's right.
Especially those who lost their lives. So how do you tell the mother who her son said, "Mommy, mo lost a protest," and that was the last word she heard?
Who lost loved ones.
That is going to be something that breaks them. Some might not recover from that. So it's almost as if we're now saying, okay, if that is the case, how can you be talking about unbreakable?
You know, that whole incident for me is actually a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Because for some of us who were not even on the ground on that day, I mean, it's something that broke our spirits. Just watching, just hearing the things that were going on and the aftermath of the experience of that day.
Yes.
Like you said, 2010, 2020 remains on all of our minds.
Yes.
You know, and people are wondering, okay, you know, I say to myself that many of those people actually need some form of therapy or the other. You know, haven't seen, you know, what went on that day and what they had to go through. Some people are saying, oh, they're, you know, many of them now, their spirits are down, they're defeated and everything like that. But I said, no, you know, those people, they are truly the unbreakable ones.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that, because only someone who doesn't have feelings will not feel what happened that day. Especially, I look at you and I look at the age of your children.
Yes.
They are the age of the people that were protesting.
They were doing their own protest.
You understand? Yeah, so I can imagine how you must have...
They really were part of the protest.
I can imagine how it must have felt for you.
Yes.
It's for you. I have a 6-year-old old son.
It broke me.
You have, you know, young adults.
Yeah.
The way to hit you will be different.
That's right.
Than the way to hit me. Now, that kind of pain that was sudden.
Yes.
You know, if you saw something gradually leading to that, you sort of almost like get used to it,
but it was kind of prepared.
Yeah, but it was sudden. Nobody prepared for that.
Nobody.
All our hearts was in a place of hope.
Yes.
You know, jubilation that finally, and then that happens.
There'll be some form of negotiation.
You understand? And then that happens. But you see, I listen to my dad. When I say my dad, I'm referring to Pastor Femi Paul. I say that often. And he said, I'll say it in Yoruba, and hopefully you can translate that. Alai niro no eniyan ni nkan yen ma ṣẹlẹ̀ tí kò ní tó máa lè sùn wọra. Meaning, it's only someone that can think.
That's right.
That will, of his age, that will be able to sleep deep. He couldn't sleep till 4 p.m.
Many of us didn't sleep that night.
You know?
I know that. I mean, I spoke to a lot of people. I didn't sleep. and I know a lot of people who didn't sleep as well. I mean, you just could not go to sleep. Just the thought of what had happened, how it happened, why
it even happened.
Why, you know,
and then the aftermath, which we're still dealing with.
Please, let's not even.
You know, but we're not going to spend all the time talking about that. But you see,
how do you rise up? Because a lot of these young people are broken, as it were.
Yeah.
Some feel defeated.
Yeah.
Some feel despondent, if you want to say that. Some feel, you know. So how do you rise from all of that? Because like I said to somebody, we mourn, we move, we keep fighting.
Yes.
Until the change
comes
that we desire comes.
You know, but then I'm always want to throw this question back. So how do you fight when you have no fight left in you? So the last week, and I say this to every young person, it's very important you hear me here. You know, we have this, we are coconut head generation, we don't hear word. You had better listen to this. There is only so far we can go as young people without the guidance of the elders. There's a reason why they are elders. And I explain. For many of us, this is the first time we experience something like that. We'll go to the movies, we'll see it.
Yes.
But this is live.
Live.
And because of our phones, we could see it almost real time.
That's right.
The videos are flying. For a lot of us, this is the first time we have ever experienced anything like that. But for our elders, our parents, people in your generation, you've seen something similar.
We have.
You have dealt with that trauma before. To rise, I need somebody that is above me to pull me up. But as young people, if we feel we can do bad all by ourselves, what we do is that we tie our hands to our side. That even if somebody is offering to help us, how do we raise our hands to receive the help? So this is not a time for us to feel we can figure it out all by ourselves. This is a time for us to reach out to the elders who have been there and calm down and listen. I'm serious. Calm down and listen.
Farabale.
Honestly, because, and I'm not saying this because I read it somewhere. When it happened and I saw how my dad dealt with it, it was broken. This was the first time I could see him break. It was broken. But it did not stay there. So you can feel broken, you can experience the emotions. Yes. Don't live in that denial. It happened. It's a reality. It's not a movie that at the end there's going to be end credits. Right. No, this was live, it happened. And I saw him go through that emotion, the tears, the pain, the point of saying, you know what, I don't even feel like doing anything. And then I saw him rally around and put up a performance. It wasn't his best performance. And when I say performance, he had to lead a service.
Yes.
It was the shortest service we had, 15 minutes. There was no call for offering, there was no nothing. I could see the pain and brokenness, but he stood up and served. I can tell you that...
Because no matter the situation,
you
have to go on.
I can tell you that 80% of what they said, I didn't hear. But the 20% that spoke loud was that he showed up.
Yes.
And that strengthened me.
That he showed up.
So for the young ones dealing with the trauma, who is showing up around you? Is it your parents? Is it people older than you? Now, there are even some people that might be in your age range, but somehow they are old people in young people's bodies. So who is showing up?
Truly?
And when I say show up, I mean, you know they are hurting. But in spite of that, they're still showing up, they're moving on. Those are people you draw strength from. And now the most important thing at this point is this is not a time to just draw from them. Because it's costing them so much to do that. So as you draw from them, also give back. And when I say give back, if you see somebody who is going through a lot of trauma and they're still showing up, send them a message. If you have the access to them, give them a call and say, sir, thank you for doing that. Because those words, because you see, this is a time of mutual mourning and mutual healing. Something about the unbreakable spirit is that there is this mutual thing that goes on.
Yes.
To have an unbreakable spirit, what I found out is that you cannot do it by yourself.
Okay.
It's a mutual thing. We draw strength from ourselves because you see, when you are down, you don't have everything together to stand by yourself. What you don't have, somebody else has.
Somebody else
What that person doesn't have, so when you parapo, when you collabo, when you come together, you fix. You are two broken people, but you are just trudging along because I'm drawing strength from you. You are drawing strength from me. And then we had a meeting in church with the church admin and Pastor Femi and myself. And even though we were hurting, we were cracking some jokes on the designs and everything, and the mood began to lift.
Yes.
So by the time a few days later when we were speaking, the spirits were being lifted. So it's when the unbreakable spirit is a gradual thing. It doesn't happen overnight. It's it's like you're pumping tires. So
well, one thing that I always say to people is that it's okay to mourn.
Oh yes.
But don't remain in that place of mourning.
Yes.
You have to rise from that mourning stage, to a stage where you start reaching for healing.
Oh yes.
Because when you heal, it helps you.
Oh yes.
It's actually healing that shows that you chose not to be broken by that situation or that circumstance that people thought was going to break you. Don't remain in that broken place.
Yes.
Rise up from the brokenness, like I keep saying, and everything like that. So it's tough. Some people say, oh, it's easy for you to. It's never easy for anybody. And that's the truth. It's never easy for anybody. It's never easy for anybody. It's always a deliberate attempt by anybody, even somebody that you think, that person just snapped out of. No. It took a process. There's that process to come out of that mourning stage to that stage of healing. No matter what it is, because so many things put us in broken situations.
Yes.
Some, it can be, the passing on of a loved one, like what has happened. It could be even something, like, missing a journey. So many things. End of a relationship.
True. True.
End of a relationship. Talk about that. So many things. Then people disappoint you. That's another one. That's another one. But I say to people that you will always get hurt. The thing is not to remain in that place where you are hurt.
Yeah.
Somebody says to me, somebody betrayed me. Betrayal. It's a tough one.
You see, before I talk about the betrayal, you said something earlier that it's a choice.
Because what happened was that the government betrayed those young people.
Yeah, don't even let's go to that one first. But let me start from what you said about choices. And I like that a lot.
Yes.
I found out that no matter what we're going through, even if everything is taken away from us, haven't you found out that the ability to choose is never taken away?
So true.
On the surface, is like, what are you talking about? But if we pause and think about it, the ability to choose was never can never be taken away from us.
That's right. Can never be taken away.
So it's a choice, tough as it may be. I say something often to people that there's a thin line between difficult and impossible.
Come again on that. I'm loving that statement.
There's a thin line between difficult and impossible.
Thin line between difficult.
Both of them are hard.
Yes.
But choose your hard. It's difficult for me to come out of a state of betrayal. Now I'm talking about the betrayal.
Yes.
It's difficult for me to come out of the betrayal. But is it impossible for me to come out of the betrayal? Both of them are true. But you choose which truth comes to life. So is it a difficult one that is going to take me time? It's going to take a process. It might lead to therapy. But I choose the difficult one.
Yes.
Or I choose to resign and say it's impossible and then I give up. Now what has happened in this state is that a lot of people are choosing the impossible. Meaning, if this fails, nothing else can work. It's a choice.
And that's not right,
and
definitely.
The sad thing is, that choice is true. Because what you choose becomes your reality.
That's right.
Now, for a lot of people, and don't even think that because we're sitting here talking like this means we're not dealing with some stuff.
Oh, we are. We sure are. We sure are.
Ma,
They want to know.
something died inside me that day
I can imagine.
about this country.
I can imagine.
Something died, and I was like, you know what, that's it.
But you have to resurrect that thing.
But, which is what I'm saying, but as the days have unfolded, tensions have subsided, we've
Yes.
processed, we've talked, you know, like I said, that mutual exchange.
Yes.
It's like, you know, when you take somebody to the emergency and then that monitor reads flat, and then you get the
Yes, that's
clear, and then so
slowly.
right now, I am not yet back to the big
Yes.
wave. It's still very small, but that small is enough.
It's hope. That gives a lot of hope.
You know, and so when you were talking about that unbreakable spirit, being unbreakable, it's when you choose that it might be difficult, it might hurt, it might take time, but I'm not going to give up.
You didn't give up.
We're just using you know, the events of Nigeria as a platform. Look at life. The mere fact that you're alive, man, life is going to hit you hard.
It's a lot to be thankful for. I say that to people a lot. The fact that you're alive. You know, I always say that, you know, no matter what is coming, I say to myself that God is going to take me out. My favorite slogan, it will sort me out. You know?
This
I
life.
know people ask me, how are you doing? To his glory. To God be the glory.
Yeah.
To God be the glory. Always. To God be the glory always. Because, look, I say to people that where you are, somebody else is wishing to be there.
Oh yeah. You see, you just
Where you are, that you think is a bad situation, is somebody else's testimony waiting to happen.
Let me narrate what happened yesterday. And, you know, for some of us watching the show and we're not Christians or we're not of the faith, this is a practical thing about life. When I chose to, you know what, I'm not going to allow this break me. What I found out, and this has happened many times, is that things around begin to, you know, speak and reaffirm my choice.
Yes.
Remember I talked about the
Yes.
choices.
Yes.
So because there was so much on my mind that I was dealing with, I went to the supermarket on Tuesday after work. I bought fish, I bought snacks, I bought toiletries, and I went to the counter to pay. I paid for everything, and I picked what I went to buy. I went home. On getting home to make dinner, where's the fish?
Wow.
I forgot the fish.
Wow.
Because there was so much going on in my mind that I was dealing with. My heart was heavy, but, you know, like I said, it's not about it being easy. It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
Yes.
So I said, okay, fine. Call the supermarket. I said, this is what I said. Don't worry. We recorded it as forgotten items. You can come tomorrow to pick it up. So I go there the next day, and I'm walking into the supermarket, and there's a cut out cardboard on the floor, and I just walked past and just glanced, and I said, okay, what's that? I walked back. Guess what was on the cardboard? You saw my post, and it's all good.
Yes, and it's all good.
So tell me that is not the universe, in quotes,
all good.
that is leaving messages.
It's all good. You had to come back.
You know, I came back to get the fish, and on trying to get the fish, there was a message waiting for me that morning that, you know, it's all good.
Yes.
And I said, I choose to believe, choice again, that this is God speaking to me.
That's right.
And I wanted to pick it up. But then I said, wait, it was all
and
good.
And I said that somebody else, that message
you know,
to
I said,
there for somebody else.
You know what?
To see.
I'm not going to pick it up because if it ministered to me, somebody else might need the message. So I left it there. So you see, again, when we are talking about that unbreakable spirit, after you've made the choice that I'm not going to allow this break me, it's going to be tough. You might cry. You might continue to cry. But it's that little pulse that you're running on, and you're then and you're alert. You allow your spirit to be open. Help, support will come from the most unimaginable ways, from the most unlikely persons, through the most unlikely means.
Unlikely sources.
Who would have thought that a message of hope would be a discarded, torn out? First of all, if we could break down that cardboard, wherever that cardboard came from is more important, because this was scrap to the person. They tore it out and discarded it. But trash,
somebody's trash,
now became my message.
Somebody's message.
In short, that trash now became my treasure, because I took a picture of it.
Yes.
Long after I'm gone and people see that picture, that supposed trash
it's not a treasure.
It's not a treasure. So again, if we flip the script and say that, okay, fine, you feel you're discarded, people have disappointed you, you feel like trash.
You feel betrayed.
You feel betrayed.
They always say that.
You know, and you feel the government has betrayed you, you feel they don't think about us. Look, guys, listen to me. They might have betrayed you, yes. They might have, dashed on your trust. But guess what? They might have discarded you, but they discarded you and everything inside you. Everything inside you, your giftings, your talents, your charm, your panache, your everything combined is what they throw out. So when you feel that everything is gone, no.
Gone.
Whatever is gone is external. What is left is internal. And I serve a God that is a specialist at working with what is left.
That's right. I love it when people make statements that go pow in my head, and they say, please comment on that statement. You know me already.
We serve a God that is a specialist at working with what is left.
Working with what is left.
I don't know what was written on the totality of that box, but what was left was enough. It's all good. At the risk of sounding insensitive, sometimes when we're dealing with brokenness, it is at that very time God is demanding, keyword, demanding, that we go and be a minister to someone. It is when you're dealing with your own issues that you are supposed to help people.
Yes.
Because what we don't know is that what we give comes back to us in multiple folds.
What we give comes back in
You know that thing we said earlier about that mutual thing?
Yes.
There is, and this is why I don't understand how we can live together as one. There is something that is the same in all of us, even strangers you meet. That if I show kindness to you, something from you leaps back to me.
Yes.
That fills me.
Yes. Kindness, I say, is a magnet.
Yeah.
It just keeps people together.
Yeah.
It binds relationships. It binds, it's at the heart of human relationships.
So we are hurting, and then God demands that go and comfort somebody. How do you explain someone like Pastor Itwa? The very morning you hear that your wife died, you are there comforting somebody else. It doesn't make sense.
Extraordinary strength.
So for people that are trying to come at me, that what am I talking about? That is your life example there.
That's right. Extraordinary
and
strength. And knowing the God that it serves.
And that act releases a kind of healing that helps you deal with your own loss. So the unbreakable spirit is like a muscle you build. And I tried my hands on some form of gym, and they said that it is what you put in.
As you were saying that, I was thinking about the weights that you have to lift.
And it is what you put in. See, it is what you put in that you get out. So if you want to build a physique that you like, six packs, the chest, biceps, and everything, it is what you put in.
It's work.
It's a lot of work. It's going to hurt you. There are days you want to get out of bed, but you just get out. That's what we're talking about. You build that unbreakable spirit. The person that is building his muscles is hurting from yesterday's workout, but he's back there again to punish himself because it is what you put in that you get out.
Yes.
So if you put in the effort, you get the reward. So when sometimes you feel like, I can't stand, that is when you should stand.
When you feel you can't stand, that is when you should stand.
So I go back to the example of my dad, and I was like, I saw him lead the service, and I was like, wow. And because I'm part of the team that does it,
I think sometimes, when you do things people don't expect you to do in your broken state, that helps.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
When you shock people.
Yes.
The example of Pastor Itua you've given, the example of Pastor Femi Paul that you've given. I mean, there are things that ordinarily people would say, no, they won't have done in such a situation. But they went ahead and they spoke volumes.
Yeah.
And it's something, these are experiences that people would always
they draw strength from.
hold on to and
they draw strength from. They draw strength from. I've had my fair share of broken periods.
Do we want to go to? Do we want to go to that? Do we want to go there?
And
everybody has had a fair share.
And I found out that when you normalize it, that is going to come. I tell people that, look, if you're not facing a storm, it's either because you just came out of one or you're about to enter one.
Storms.
Either case, prepare. It's coming.
Prepare.
It's coming.
Prepare.
And that is not us being prophets of doom. Is the reality of life. What that taught me was that when you're going through your broken stage, what story are you going to say when it's done? Because it's going to be done.
That's right.
So what story do you want to tell? I love telling good stories. If I'll say anything, as you build your unbroken spirit, always have at the back of your mind the kind of story you want to tell.
Always have at the back of your mind the story you want to tell.
So I have a picture at the back of my mind. It might be difficult to actualize, but if I have a picture of, I want to be able to stand on a pulpit and testify that God brought me through. And not only did He bring me through, He helped me to bring other people through. Yeah. That's the end. But I'm far from that. But because I have an image of the end, what happens? I begin to tread the difficult, not impossible, the difficult road of, okay, who can I help?
It's all about choice.
Who can I help out of this? So I pick up my phone and I call someone and I say, you know what? I feel terrible right now. But I know that somewhere inside you also feel terrible too. But I just call to let you know that it's going to be okay. And it's okay to cry saying it. Yeah. Be authentic. Or call somebody and say, look, I really do not feel like calling you. I really do not feel like praying, but that is exactly what I'm going to do. Can I pray with you? So that when it passes, you remember the picture you had at the back? You can now stand and say, look, it was tough, but this is what God did, and this is what God used me to do.
Wow, 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 wow. What more can I add? Until we come your way again on the Now Show.
Yep.
Remain unbroken.
Yeah.
Be a winner. Be an overcomer. Abosede Osho, Adeleke, Aladekoba, signing off.
Bye-bye.